Starting a business with a partner feels exciting. You're in it together, you've got a lot of big dreams, and you think nothing could possibly go wrong. But let me be absolutely real with you as a business attorney. The majority of partnership disputes I see could have been avoided if the owners had just set things up right from the start. So today, I'm going to walk you through the top 5 mistakes that business owners make when they are in a partnership and how to avoid them so that your business and your friendship with your partners survive. And just to be clear, these are not hypothetical. These are actual mistakes that come straight from real partnership breakups that I have had to clean up inside my law firm. Hi there, I'm Paige Griffith, attorney and founder of The Legal Page, which is an online contract template shop and legal education platform for small business owners. I am also the owner and law partner of Griffith Swazo Law, which is a trademark and business transaction firm. On this YouTube channel, I help entrepreneurs like you get legally legit without all the overwhelm. Let me tell you about a call that I got from 2 business partners who were on the verge of breaking up. They had started off as best friends. They'd launched a business together and everything seemed great until tax season. One had hired her own accountant, the other had used a different one, and the advice that they were getting from their CPAs completely conflicted. And of course, they had no operating agreement in place, no system for resolving disputes, and no clear plan on what happened if they couldn't agree. So long story short, they ended up dissolving the business and it cost them thousands and thousands of dollars to do it, especially when it came to taxes. Situations like this are not rare. According to Forbes and the Small Business Bureau, 70% of business partnerships fail. And I'm not telling you that to scare you, well, maybe a little, but to show you why you must set things up the right way from the beginning. And today I am going to walk you through the top 5 mistakes that business partners make and how to avoid them. Mistake number 1, no written agreement, just a handshake deal. Those and verbal promises don't cut it. When things go wrong, and they often do in partnerships way more than if you're running the business yourself, there is no clear roadmap. You've got 2 people or multiple people trying to figure out an agreement, and they all want to do things differently in the business. But if you would have agreed on that to begin with, it would have made things a lot smoother. So you need a partnership agreement or a multi-member operating agreement if you're an LLC. And if you don't have one, remember you are going to be stuck with your state's default rules. And those default rules usually divide everything 50-50 or equally if you have more than 2 partners, even if one of you put way more money or time into the business. So how do you avoid that? Put everything in writing. Who owns what? Who put in what amount of capital? Who put in what amount of work to equate to capital? Are those 2 equal? Who makes decisions? How are profits split if things are winding up or at the end of the year? And what happens if someone leaves? Can you buy out someone? Do they need to sell their shares? All of that needs to be in there. Mistake number 2, not defining roles and responsibilities. Partnerships fall apart when no one knows who's actually in charge of what. Are you both managing clients? Is one of you handling finances? Who's signing the contracts? Overlap leads to dropped balls and frustration and a lot of finger pointing. So I want you to avoid this by defining roles clearly in your agreement and then sticking to them. You can always, always, always revisit your partnership agreement and adjust it as your business grows, but it's always the foundation that you go back to. And then you can build upon your foundation in your partnership agreement or multi-member operating agreement if you're an LLC. Mistake number 3, not talking about money up front. Money disagreements are the number 1 thing that end partnerships. Who is putting in capital contributions? How do you pay yourselves? Are profits going to be reinvested or distributed? The biggest thing I see is unequal effort disputes. I have seen so many partnerships fall apart because one partner was putting in all the financial contributions while the other one promised to make up for it with sweat equity, but that effort was really never quantified. And if a partnership is going to succeed, no one should feel like they are carrying the entire load. And the fix here is at the time of drafting your partnership agreement, you want to clearly write out what each partner is expected to contribute, whether that's time or money or both. And when you're avoiding this mistake, you want to be brutally clear on the financials, upfront and in writing. Spell out contributions, withdrawals, distributions, and what happens if one partner can't contribute as expected. Mistake number 4, no exit strategy. Partnerships don't last forever. Most of them do not. They never plan for the end. But you have to think about the end when you're starting, especially in a partnership. What if someone passes away? What if a partner wants out? What if you get an amazing offer to sell, but one partner doesn't agree? How do you avoid this mistake? Your agreement should include buy-sell provisions, exit terms, and what happens in the case of death or disability of one or multiple partners. That way, the breakup doesn't become a courtroom battle. Mistake number 5, ignoring dispute resolution. Even the best partnerships hit bumps in the road. And if you don't have a process for handling disputes, those bumps can turn into craters. And with craters, I mean going into court and bleeding time and money. So I definitely suggest that you go to mediation first or arbitration, and you do those, and then you can go to court after if you can't resolve that way. But amicable resolution with partnerships via mediation or arbitration is the best course of action. So make sure that you're building in dispute resolution clauses into your partnership agreement. And then you also want to have a clear venue and jurisdiction clause on if you do have to go to court, where the partnership agreement will be interpreted, what laws it will be interpreted under, and then where that will occur. That's the venue. Jurisdiction is who's interpreting the contract. And as I mentioned at the beginning, a sobering stat, 70% of business partnerships fail. And I'm not sharing that to scare you, but to open your eyes. I'm sure that that's actually not a very true and accurate percentage. I would think that it's a little bit more than 70%, but 70% is high enough. Just because a partnership feels like a good idea now doesn't mean that you are going to still feel that same way a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, a couple months from now, which is exactly why these legal protections matter so much. Now, let me share a few lessons from actual partnership breakups that I've handled in my law firm. These were the key problems that caused the most damage. No operating agreement. Without one, there was no roadmap for what happens if a partner wants to exit. Taxes, always agree on one tax accountant for the business. Do not each use your own as individual partners because it causes conflicting advice and IRS headaches. So one business partner CPA that you're both using together, you can use your individual CPAs for your individual tax returns. Capital contributions. Contributions need to either be equal or spelled out why they are not equal in writing. Otherwise, resentment builds up fast when one partner feels like they are carrying all the load. And that is usually the tip of the iceberg for when the whole partnership fails. Another one is ownership of assets. All business accounts and contracts and property should be in the LLC's name if you're a multi-member LLC, or the partnership's name if you're a partnership, not in one partner's personal name, because mixing it up creates confusion and liability. And if one partner leaves or you have multiple partners in a business, more than 2, then you want to make sure that the other partners can still acquire access to all of these accounts. And then also just the relationship itself. Don't go into business with someone just because it sounds fun. You need to trust and value them and know that you can work alongside them in thick and thin. A partnership is basically a business marriage, and ending it is legally just as complex as a divorce. So these are the things that most entrepreneurs overlook because they're caught up in excitement of starting something new with a business partner. But these are the exact issues that end up blowing up the partnership down the road. So let's recap the 5 big mistakes that business partners make. No written agreement in place, not defining roles, avoiding conversations, no exit strategy, ignoring dispute resolution. And from what I've seen firsthand in my law firm, those extra mistakes like not agreeing on a tax accountant, not documenting contributions, and putting assets in the wrong names are things that tear partnerships apart. The good news, every single one of these mistakes can be prevented with a solid operating agreement that covers all of these bases. So if you are starting a business with a partner or you are already in one and you're worried that you skipped some of this, don't leave it to chance. I have a fully attorney drafted multi-member LLC operating agreement template over at the legal page that includes all of the clauses that you need to have in there and more so that you can protect your business and your relationship with your partner or partners. I have linked that operating agreement below in the description. I hope that you found this educational video helpful. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more legal information on this YouTube channel. I'll see you in the next video.